Hey guys, it's Chief Logan here, and today I'll bring you the recap for our war against Cold September. As you can see, we were defeated by them. It was 106 to 112. At the end of the day, we probably used too many Town Hall 10 attacks on the Town Hall 11s, and then didn't have enough Town Hall 10 attacks to clean up the 10s. So I'd better get started with this recap because it's quite a long one. We're going to start off with number 39, which is Damo. Okay, so it looks like a Queen Walk Laloon, which is really interesting to see. You don't see that very often in wars nowadays. So he starts his queen off on the west, and he's got a minion on the bottom to funnel her inwards. She'll go in and get down 2 air defences by herself. Making her way through some trash right now. Now that archer tower is targeting the queen, he can drop a wizard on the top dark barracks, so that she definitely goes south. Wall breakers go in, that's perfect wall break in there. Now she's just going to hit on a gold storage for a while and then go in and take down some defences. The one thing that I would say with this attack is that he could have been quicker about it. It does get pretty close on time, as you will probably see, well, will have seen from the start of the raid time in. But she does get there eventually. Once the clan castle is lured, he could have really started the king part. Like, now he could have started the king part and the raid would have gone a lot quicker. Although he does already have a minion over on the east funneling for the king. Queen makes her way through the clan castle, then down to the secondary defence, and he's dropping a few wall breakers in for that wall. A wizard down to help the king out, and then the king comes in. He's going to path straight into that air defence, well no, straight into that queen, sorry, and with the help of his ability he will take her down. And then he's free to Laloon the rest, and there really isn't much defences left now. So he sends a hound and a few loons into that bottom air defence, and he's got haste for them, so they're making their way through. He actually drops a second hound there, which kind of angles upwards and tanks for that wizard tower almost, although he's just a little bit late on that for it. The queen's still alive, she's helping out, taking out sweepers and Teslas and stuff like that. And he's already got back end loons coming up at the top. So the loons converge onto that last air defence, and he's got pretty much a full health lava hound. He could have afforded to not bring a lava hound on this raid, basically. And he's also got 2 swag spells. So essentially a swag lava hound and a swag rage and swag haste. So 3 spell slots and 30 troop space, essentially swagged. Take down that last gold mine, and that is a 3-star. Coming up next on number 36, we have Warlord. Bring in a Queen Walk Govaho, which is kind of the usual in wars nowadays. So he starts his queen off up north. He's got a wizard to funnel her south, presumably, although I'm never sure. No, in fact she does. She's supposed to go to the west, and she actually takes down both heroes. The base did have a couple of builders' huts on the corners, so he's sure to drop a couple of archers on them early on, so he doesn't forget about them, because they can ruin raids if you run out of time. So the wizards are there essentially to help the queen out on the high hit point storages. And as the queen comes into the king's radius, he drops a poison on them, and with the poison and the queen ability alone, she manages to take down both heroes, and that's great for 3 healers, the queen and a poison. You've managed to get both heroes and quite a few defences as well. So now he's starting his entry point on the east. He's got a golem, a few wizards to funnel, and now all of these Valks come in. He doesn't even bother with wall breakers because Valks break through walls as if they were wall breakers now. An early heal down for them. It's an all ground based clan castle, so the Valks will tear through that. Jump spell goes down to keep them going south, and then a few hogs into that mortar and archer tower on the east, which are there essentially just to make sure that the Valks funnel into the core rather than funneling into the bottom side, really. So King is still pretty much, well, he's got quite a bit of health and he's still got his ability. Hogs are coming up to the last few defences. Still got a golem up, still got quite a few Valks and wizards around the base. He's got a heal spell in the bag, and I don't think he actually uses the heal spell. I think he swags it. Drops another couple of minions to help tidy up. And because of that golem there, these hogs are just going to make their way to the bottom archer tower, and they don't need that heal spell. So another swag spell attack. We had quite a few of those this war. So nice job to Warlord. That was a nice raid. Next up we've got number 33, which was by Baladin. Another Queen Walk Govaho. Starts his queen off in the west this time. Now, with bases like this, as you can see, those second layer of defences, the cannon and the air defence, they're only 3 tiles behind the wall, so the queen could actually reach both of them by herself. So that's kind of a bit of a weakness in the base, especially with air defences, because he could actually get 2 air defences with a queen walk here if he chose to go with air. So the hog goes in there and gets the clan castle lure, and it's just a golem, so it's not going to be too much bother for the queen. It'll just be a time sink more than anything. With 3 healers on her, she will not lose much health. She's only got a cannon on her right now. So he starts his golem on the east. A few wizards to funnel. He's already got minions down, actually. I didn't notice that. Rages the queen to help her through the golem, just to help with the timing mainly. And he's dropping wall breakers now onto the east. Golem goes in and the king and Valks go down. Clan Castle Valks, which are very useful nowadays. More useful than a golem, definitely. I mean, you get extra 500 hit points for a golem, or you can get an extra, is it 300 per Valkyrie? I think level 4 Valkyries have got 900 HP, and level 5 have got 1200 possibly. So you're getting an extra 900 or so DPS. Well, HP should I say. And the DPS is huge as well. So definitely always take Clan Castle Valks over golems. The hogs have come in, they're taking out the last few defences, but the heroes mainly took out most of this base. The hogs actually get onto a giant bomb right at the end of the raid, as they come up to those last storages. They're not going to last long with that amount of cleanup. And he gets the 3 quite safely. Good job to Baladin. A few more up, we've got number 31. No. Yeah, just 30 actually. By Mega Pedro. Yet another Queen Walk Govaho. Starts his queen up north. Looks like she's going to go towards the west because he's got a wizard there to funnel her. So the important thing with queen walks is to balance the amount of healers you need for the amount of defences hitting your queen. So he's affording 4 healers for his queen here because there was 2 defences there pointing at her, but also because she's going to come up against an archer tower, an expo, and the queen at the same time as she comes into here. So he drops a wizard to funnel her and a test wall breaker, followed by his 3 wall breakers. So she could really use a rage right now, as the defences are, well, the ability goes first this time. Poison down onto the archer queen and rage on the healers. Early hogs get another skeleton trap and also the clan castle. Queen comes very close to health with those level 5 Valkyries in the clan castle. They can be devastating to queen walks, in the same way that golems are devastating to Valks. If you're hitting a base with a golem in the clan castle and you're using Valks, they will be severely hit by those golems when they smash. Because golems do 500 damage, I think, when they die. So 500 damage onto your 900 hit point Valks. That is quite a big amount. So he's sending his king, golem and a bunch of Valks in on the east. They're going to make their way through that compartment. He's already got a heal down and an early jump. You've got to make sure your jumps are early in the new meta, because Valks will take down the compartment much quicker, and then you're essentially leaving them to just hit on walls if the jump isn't there. So now he's just dropping in targeted hogs onto the defences while they're distracted by the Valks and the golem. So they go down absolutely no bother. Hogs are making their way through the bottom of the base, and he's still got heal, so he'll be able to heal onto those Teslas. King's still tanking fully for the hogs as they come up to that last wizard tower. And then it's just clean up from then on out, and he's got plenty of troops for it. So well done to Mega Pedro on that nice 3-star. One up, we've got 29 by Alchemist, which is a very interesting attack. It's this was actually highlighted on Powerbang's channel a couple of days ago. This is the new Go Valo, basically, where you just put a bunch of Valks and a golem and your heroes into the base. They'll take out a side of it with the help of a couple of jumps and a heal, and then you've got a bunch of loons for the rest. I'd highly recommend you go watch his video on it. It goes into much more depth than this will. This is just a replay. So yet again, he's got the early jump down for those Valks, doesn't want them pathing anywhere else, doesn't want them hitting on walls. A few early loons come down and a haste for them, just to make sure that the Valks don't actually target that archer tower, which they almost do. And there's just one more loon, and they probably would have taken down that expo. So just dropping more loons around the base, taking down defences in a targeted fashion. The king and queen are still up, making their way through. Queen's going to get that the second last air defence, sorry. Golem managed to get that one. Heal actually comes down specifically for the queen, because there's nothing else that needs it at this point. Pretty much everything is down. Just the last few defences going down. We've got a couple wizard towers and a cannon. The loons are pretty slow, so they're just making their way to that cannon, and it's just clean up. He even has a clean-up loon, so he drops that in on the town hall. Few more up. We've got 26 by Advised Walrus. This was quite an interesting attack. It's another Go Valo, but less loons this time, and he's got a Queen Walk. And the Queen Walk is actually a very vital part of this raid, because she manages to get 2 air defences, which he probably wouldn't have got with another jump and a few more Valks. So the Queen starts on the southeast. Wall breakers come in and break her in, while a giant distracts the defences. She's going to path her way in after taking down that wizard tower and cannon. Rage helps her through those high HP buildings, like that elixir storage. She's going to make her way to that secondary defence eventually, but the clan castle comes out first. Another rage helps out the queen, and a poison, but he's eventually forced to use her ability because the poison was a little bit late. So the queen takes down the secondary defence, and then that Tesla there, which helps out. And then she starts bashing on a wall. So now it's really time for him to start the Valken King part. So he drops a golem, onto that archer tower. It's distracted all those defences. A few wall breakers in. He doesn't actually need a test wall breaker this time, because the golem goes the exact path that the wall breaker will. So jump goes down. They go through to that air defence there. Heal helps them through that giant bomb, because Valks are much softer now. Loons are getting targeted on the bottom side. Plenty of loons for that. They're just going to make their way through. King's still up tanking for a few archer towers. And now he's got a hound and 3 loons onto that last air defence. So the loons on the bottom are just going to take a few seconds to get to that last Tesla, but they will take it down eventually. Loons take down the air defence up top, and luckily a hound pops by an air bomb, so that helps them with clean up a little bit, because that's all there is from now on. Well, it was a very interesting attack by Advised Walrus. Next up is number 25, again by Advised Walrus. Got a 6-pack this war, so well done to him. And this one is using dragons, which is very interesting to see in war. So he's doing another queen walk in on the east, just using a few funnel wizards, minions and archers to break her in to that compartment with the air defence. From that compartment she can actually reach 3 air defences, which is another base weakness that you should look out for when building your own bases. And by watching attacks like this, you will see how your base building can improve. And you'll see he actually drops rages pretty early, and they're not to keep the queen up with the healers, they're just to help the queen through those areas, because there really isn't anything hitting the queen, but there is a lot to get through, so he's using a rage to help her through. Golem comes out the clan castle, so that's going to take a while. Drops a hound and quite a few dragons on that side. The hound dies almost instantly by the queen. It doesn't get really far. I'm not sure why he used a hound really. It tanks the archer tower for a few seconds, but it doesn't last long enough. Poison down on the queen helps the dragons take her out, and they're just going to take out that top compartment. The queen is the real MVP of this attack, because she actually walks out again and starts taking out the backside of the base, because there are quite a lot of air target and defences still up on that side. There's 2 archer towers, an expo, an air defence, a wizard tower and 3 Teslas still, and there's only 3 dragons left. So the queen's making her way up. He drops a wizard to help her out with that army camp, and then he's king just to do a little bit of tanking for the queen. He still has 2 rages left. Drops his king ability to get those barbs up, and then the rage to help out the queen, and also to get that loon into that air defence. The the expo, sorry. Another rage on the queen. He's used 4 rages on the queen. No spells have been used on any other part of this raid. Queen comes in, takes out that last air defence. Still got 2 dragons up. Loon comes onto that last cannon. And that is game over for this base. There's an air sweeper left actually. Last building goes down. Dragon dies to the air bomb, but it's way too late for that. Up next is number 23, which is Kryptonite. And Kryptonite is actually an ex-member of Emphatic, so it was very important for us to 3-star him this war. And Alpha managed to do it with a nice quad quake Govaho with Queen Walk. So he's actually dropping a giant and 4 healers to tank for the queen. Now giants are actually quite useful if you can use them for a Queen Walk, because they don't have the 50% healer buff. So if a bunch of healers are onto the queen, she only heals at 50% rate compared to a normal troop. So it's very useful to use giants when you can, but it's not applicable in all cases. So what he's done on the queen compartment there, you might have missed it, is he's dropped a giant and a wizard to funnel and also get the clan castle lure. So because there's no defences on her, the queen will take out that dragon and loon in the CC without actually using a rage or her ability or anything. All he uses to tank is a giant, and then he just sends his Valks in and his king, because he knows that there isn't really any use in having a golem, because it would just go in and then the Valks would get ahead of it. So the Valks are under heal, and that is fine for him. The Valks will not die if they're under heal very easily. Sending in hogs onto defences just to keep those Valks coming through. Queen's making her way up the west side. Heal goes down, but there's a double giant bomb. Still has plenty of hogs left on the north though, and they're going to make their way through that Tesla farm. King's still up tanking for that expo. He's got wizards coming round for cleanup. Hogs come up to the last few point defences, and that is game over for Kryptonite's base. Nice 3-star by Alpha. One up, we've got 22 by the A-team, which is yet another Govaho, but this time with only 4 hogs. So the Valks are doing the main damage to this base. It's more of a mass Valk with a few hogs. Now if you look here, the amount of value he can get from a lot of minions here is incredible. They're going to take out that entire side so that he doesn't have to funnel any of it with wizards. He doesn't need to tank for anything here. They're going to take out that entire side of the base, and that is an extreme weakness that the base designer has overlooked. So he leaves it a few seconds while those minions make their way through, then he drops his queen and a few healers on the east side. They're going to make their way downwards, hopefully. Well, I believe, anyway. Actually can't remember. So the minions have destroyed every single building up there. Queen's making her way south. Drops a loon to tank and also take down that mortar. But he also had wall breakers there. So the wall breakers were tanked by the loon, so they could come in and destroy the wall. Then a giant and a few wizards help funnel. Queen's just going to bash on that storage, then make her way inside to that archer tower. Now, the healers do come in range of that air defence, so he drops a rage to help the queen out. Then it's a P.E.K.K.A. and a loon in the clan castle, so he's going to have to use the ability. And also, simultaneously, he's got a bunch of Valks, and his king are coming into this hero compartment. They'll crush that compartment. He's got 2 heals for them, so they won't be dying anytime soon. Doesn't have to use a golem to tank again because Valks under heal negate the use of a golem basically. So he doesn't even have a jump for them because he knows that the Valks are as useful as wall breakers nowadays. They're going to smash through to that core, and the king gets stuck on a different wall, sadly. The healers come onto the Valks actually, and that's quite a useful part of the raid because those Valks will not die with a heal spell and healers on them. He drops very few hogs onto the last defences. So he's got 4 hogs and they're spread very thinly. The hogs almost take out that cannon. There's like maybe 5 hit points on that cannon there. But the Valks eventually make it their way through and they take it out. From then on it's just Valks sitting on walls, the Queen taking out defences from behind walls and cleaning up. So that was a very interesting raid by A-Team, nice to see. Next up is number 20 by Paul. Also welcome back to Emphatic, Paul. He's taken a break for a while from the game, but he's back now, so good to see you back. So yet another Govaho with a Queen Walk and a few loons. So he's dropping his Queen on the east here. She'll take down quite a few defences on her way south. Minion to take down that elixir collector to make sure she goes south, although there isn't much risk of her going north. She's just going to hit a few storages now, so I'll speed that up a little bit. Comes in, takes out their defence, and then he drops a rage and a poison to take out the clan castle. It is a very lightweight clan castle with a lot of troops though, so the Queen takes a while to get through it, probably the same amount of time she would take for a golem, to be honest. So those lightweight clan castles can be very useful. Drops another poison onto the king as the Queen takes him down, and another rage for her. And that rage will help the healers as she comes up against that archer tower at the bottom, because she does have 2 defences on her at that time. Queen continues her way south and he drops a golem and a few wizards to funnel into that compartment there. The Queen's actually going to meet up with the kill squad, which is, it's not very often you see that nowadays. It's more the Queen will go off in her own direction and then the kill squad will enter in a different place. So a ton of Valks go in. Jump goes down in a very, you might think, odd place. But with the amount of wizards he's got, he can ensure that the Valks will stay inside and actually go for the Queen. Because he needs the jump to go from this compartment down here to the Queen, and the only way to do that is by exposing the Valks to maybe walking around the base. But he drops a few wizards around the side to ensure that that doesn't happen. Has a heal for those Valks as they make their way through there. And then here come the loons onto those defences. That Tesla farm is going to be melted by the Valks. It lasts seconds. And then the last few defences are going to be taken down by 2 loons and 4 hogs. They do trigger a skeleton trap, the hogs, but they manage to make it through. And a bomb actually, so skeleton trap will go down to the wizards and the Queen, and then it's just clean up. So that was a really nice attack by Paul. Good way to come home to Emphatic. Another one up, we've got number 19 by Baladin again. We also got a 6-pack, well done to him. And yet another Govaho, this time with 22 hogs. So a little bit more traditional with the hog heavy part. Drops a single loon onto that mortar so that the golem will not target that and instead targets the wizard tower. So he gets up with one golem targeting the wall instead of two, which means he can just drop a few wall breakers in. They'll take down the wall. Queen and wizards are tanking, and then here come the Valks and the king. Clan Castle Valks as usual. Jump goes down nice and early, and then a poison onto the clan castle. Heal goes down to help those Valks and the king through, and soon he'll be starting the hog deployment because there's a lot of hogs. Drops a few onto that archer tower and the mortar as they are completely tanked by the kill squad at this moment. And now he's just going to make his way clockwise, targeting specific defences so that they make their way in and he can use effective heals on them. He's got a giant tank in for a few point defences there, but a Tesla farm kind of pops up, so he drops a few more hogs in, reinforcing the hogs as they come through. Still got a heal for them, so he drops that a little bit lower. As the hogs come out of the first heal, they go straight into the second. Nothing's going to take them down. He's still got a ton of Valks up, the king up at almost full health. They're going to help so much with cleanup. Queen's making her way round the other side, and there's plenty of hogs left to come up to that wizard tower. And then, oh, in fact, they don't take out the wizard tower. They just die because there's so many skeletons there. We'll speed through as the Valks make their way into the last few buildings. So a few more up, we've got number 14 by Alex. This is a very interesting attack to see. I mean, look at the amount of loons and hogs. There's only 2 of each. So there's not many like defense targeting units in this attack. Starts off with a golem and quite a lot of wizards. He's gone very wizard heavy on this attack. Wall breakers come in and break the queen, the Valks, into this base. And he knows that the Valks are going to go straight for that wall, so he doesn't need to drop a jump yet. He heals them through instead, which is much more useful as they come up to that Tesla farm and wizard tower compartment. Poison for the clan castle stops them hitting us often, and the jump is just to help them through to that other compartment there. Now up top you'll see a golem and the king are coming in. He's held back 3 Valks and he's going to use them into that compartment. Wall breakers come in, take down the walls. Poison goes down onto the heroes, and now the Valks are just going to tear through that compartment. A very Valk heavy attack. And he probably didn't actually need the loons or the hogs, to be honest. He could have reused them as more Valks. So the second part of the kill squad are making their way to the bottom. There's a double bomb there that takes down the hog, but he's got one more, drops it onto that archer tower. However, there's so many defences there that it goes down almost instantly. But he's got enough units that they'll take down that compartment without needing any defense targeting units. So this was definitely more of a, well, a less controlled attack, shall we say. But because of the layout of the base, they can control where the Valks go without needing any defense targeting units to reinforce them. So the Valks make their way to the last few defences. The last few, yeah, they are defences actually. And he managed to swag the Queen's ability. And now to our only 10 Hall 10 3-star, which is by Jack, of course. Who else would it be? Which is, yet again, a Queen Walk Govaho. So you'll see again he's dropping a giant and healers onto the giant instead of the Queen. Just because there's 4 defences attacking the giant. Second giant comes in to reinforce, and a few minions are up top to funnel. Queen will definitely be making her way south though, and into that compartment. Now both giants are down, but he manages to take down those defences before they do too much damage to the queen. So now that cannon is distracted, he drops a few wall breakers into that wall. Because it's only a level 7 wall, he can drop just 2 wall breakers onto it, which is quite lucky. So now up top he's got a golem, a few wizards, and soon to be the Valkson King breaking into that compartment. Drops an earthquake onto the core, so they're going to break straight through. Giants from the clan castle are coming in. I'm seeing a lot more giants used now in attacks because they have a much better synergy with the Valks. They'll manage to tank for the inferno beams while the Valks rush in and take everything down. Freeze goes down on the inferno tower, and the first few hogs are deployed onto that mortar. I mean, just look at the amount of base that the queen has taken out herself. That is crazy. Heal is helping the hogs through in those last few defences at that corner, and then they're going to make their way south and help out the queen because she is struggling for health. However, there's plenty of hogs up. The king's still up. A few giants are up. The Valks are up. Wizards are locked on that hound, which is a bit unfortunate. So they're going to pop the hound just at the last second. However, he's got enough ground-only troops that they're going to take out those last few buildings. That was a very nice 3-star by Jack on a Town Hall 10. So this was a really nice war to be part of. Thank you to Cold September for arranging it with us. And we hope to rematch you in the future maybe, and maybe be a little bit better next time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe and leave a comment. You can also contact me on Twitter at ChiefLogan3010, and I'll see you guys in the next one.